Come on, Biffy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Crypto Warehouse show. My name is Mike. It is the 9th of July, 11 a.m. Central European time. There's a lot of people in chat already talking about coins already. That's nice to see. We are going to go through what we have found. We're going to go through the usual X-Files and charts, but then we're going to look at sauerkraut. What is Germany doing, selling so many Bitcoin? It makes no sense. We're going to look at DePIN. We are going to look at whether Phantom is finished. We're going to look at DeFi Llama. We're going to have a look at what Messi has done, and then we'll have our final thoughts. There's loads of people in chat. A few shout outs. Mags, as always, OG is here. Reza, Hidden Agendas, Kishan, all in the chat. Chris is here. Good morning to you all. I hope you are doing well. Velvet Rope is in chat. What should we do? Let's begin. I have no urgent rush today. I am going to try and do the show in an hour, but I'm really not feeling in the mood to rush through everything today. So let's just go through things gently. We'll start with the markets. Again, Bitcoin is attempting to break up over $58,000, as you can see on the screen there. We'll go through that in a minute. The end is nigh. I'll get to that. I'll explain what that is very shortly. Bottom left-hand corner, we've just broken 145,000 fans. Now, we were going to do a Wednesday special. However, England are playing Holland tomorrow night, so that has been cancelled probably till next week. We are going to try and do a Wednesday special. Many of you do not know or have never been to one of them. You need to give us a follow to find out what we do. We basically go to the studio, we drink things, we eat things, we have a chat, we do a giveaway. That's what we do. And this time around, we're going to do a Chronos night. It has been on the cards for a long time. I just haven't got round to it. I tweeted before, even though we've been on this correction now for 2 whole months, we are busier than we've always been. And that's not just with dealing with the community questions and things like that, but people from the outside coming in. So we are going to do a Chronos night. It is probably going to be the 17th of July, but we haven't got anything in the card, so we'll get to that. Good morning, Peter. Mantra isn't doing too badly, is it? Mantra is doing pretty well. There is a lot of people looking to buy Mantra, should I say, in chat. It's not on a couple of exchanges. It needs to get sorted out, doesn't it? It needs to be more places. The more places Mantra is available to buy, the more people are going to buy it. If you do not hold Mantra, you need to go and get yourself a bag of Mantra, not financial advice, of course. Now then, where are we? Bitcoin 57.6. Ethereum coming in at nearly $3,100. BNB hasn't really done an awful lot. Solana is up a touch, $142, $143. Not doing too badly at all there. 24-hour gainers and losers then. Bonk, who would have thought it? Lido. Lido will pump with Ethereum. When Ethereum and the ETF go live, Lido will go through the roof, as will most of the layer 2s, as will Ethereum name service, as will anything on Ethereum. It will all rise. Now, there is, I don't think I've added it to the show today, there is a calculation on what the price of Ethereum will go to based on the percentage coming in to Ethereum of what was going into Bitcoin. It ranges from a 400% pump, sorry, a $400 pump to a $1,600 pump. Now, given that we're not likely to be at $3,000 when the Ethereum ETF is given the final approval, we're more likely to be about 4,000. I think that would put us between 4,000 and 5,000 then, maybe $5,000, which is kind of in the ballpark of what we were talking about yesterday on the show. The worst case scenario is we're just over $4,000. The best case scenario is we're over $5,000. I don't think Grayscale is going to be selling off its Ethereum Trust the way that it sold off its Bitcoin Trust, simply because the premium and the discount aren't there for Ethereum as it was for Bitcoin. So, high hopes, but we need to wait for the final nod. Celestia is up a touch. Jupiter is up. It is still an absolute steal at 78 cents. Jupiter is going to be the unicorn of Solana. If you believe Solana is going to rip, Jupiter will rip as well. ENS is up a touch. Multiverse, Bitenza. Mantra is at 93 cents. The video I made about Mantra for 3 or 4 weeks ago now, and I'm not going to click on it. It always crashes the stream. We went down, I believe, to 76, 78 cents. Mantra is a hold. Look at the market cap. It's less than $1 billion. I'm not going to give you a massive Moonboy prediction for the bull run, but it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar project. There is all I'm going to say. It is going to go to do multiple X's from here, but I'm not going to say where we're going to go on that. And then losers. Notcoin, not a fan of Notcoin. ASI, What is going on? What is happening? This coin is coming in at just under a $3 billion market cap. This is going to rip, but when? AVAX is down again. Why is AVAX down? Cosmos Atom is down. That shouldn't be down. Render is down. Lido is down. Lido's not a bad price. If you want to get into Lido, Lido is the biggest liquid staking service on Ethereum. As I said, if Ethereum does a 60-70% pump, then expect Lido to go somewhere in the region of about $3 or $4. It's going to have that much of an effect. Immutable X, one of my picks, also being absolutely crushed. There's lots of good coins at huge discounts, and if I was you, I would be looking to build bags of coins that you don't hold at the minute. That's the key. You know, just build your bags. Anyway, let's move on. Let us move on. This is one of those shows today where we are looking towards Thursday and Friday this week, which is when Chairman Powell speaks. We get the CPI data. We get lots of other bits of information towards the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. That's when all the excitement is going to be. Today and tomorrow, it's a bit of a limbo. You know what I mean? It's not really going to be one of those. It's one of those streams where we're kind of just, we're waiting in the foyer pretty much for things to take off. That's where we are. This is the calm before the storm. Now then, Chainlink Wales have snapped up 6.2 million Link in the past week. Link is cheap. It's about $12, I think. $12.50 last time I looked. It's cheap. And it's going to be one of the big winners of this bull run. They're coming just like England tomorrow night and in the semi-final and the final. England are just coming good at the right time, and that's what Chainlink is going to do. It's coming right at the right time. It was a little bit premature in the last bull run. It did very well, but in the last bull run it was still too new. I personally think we could be seeing $90 to $100 for Chainlink at the peak of the bull run. Moving on, somebody's having a little bit of a joke at Eric's expense. Remember, I also said the 4th of July for the Ethereum ETF. We're 5 days after that deadline. It hasn't happened, but the S1s were resubmitted yesterday. That means maybe one more round of submissions and it is go live. So it's going to happen this month. It's 2030 and Eric Balchunas tweets the Ethereum ETF will be live early next week. You might be right. Let's not forget the government is exactly known for their speed. Should be an informative day and week on the ETH front. Stay tuned. It's going to happen. I am telling you now, okay? I am signposting you this information so you can decide whether you're going to buy some Ethereum or not. On the proviso, it gets approved. Now, remember this. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Personally, if you're in a short-term trade on Ethereum, you buy it in the next few days. You wait for mass FOMO. You wait for the panic, people trying to get into Ethereum. Maybe it pumps up to $4,500. Take a big chunk of profit, sit on the sideline, see if it comes back down. If it doesn't, you've still got a bag of very valuable ETH and you've taken some profit. That's the way to play this. The Bitcoin dump primarily was due to Grayscale Bitcoin Trust dumping billions onto the market. Without that, we would have probably got somewhere near 75 to 80,000 and we didn't. Now then, this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. The Bitcoin bubble has finally popped. Your worthless digital coins are clearly going to zero. Did you really fall for buying Bitcoin at $20,000 2 years ago or $9,000 4 years ago? A crash was inevitable. And there we go. I can't actually fit that on the screen. As you can see from the bottom, 4,000, 6,000, 16,000, 28,000. This line is moving up, and it's moving up in a very progressive way. Patience is the key with Bitcoin. Patience is the key with crypto. We are not at the end of the bull run. I'm going to keep saying that. When I talk about the end is nigh, the end is nigh for the FOMO. The end is nigh for Germany. The end is nigh for Mt. Gox. All of these events, which are one-off events, are going to end soon. Then we're going to have the Ethereum ETF. We're going to have all the things we talk about all the time on the stream. Don't panic. Now is the time to stay calm. If getting into crypto, if you're getting into crypto today and you bought at $60,000 and you think you're down 10%, 5%, whatever, think about when we break $80, $90, $100,000, you're going to be in profit. You're going to think you're Warren Buffett. You're going to think you are going to think you are your family's God's gift to trading. Neither of those things are true. You're not a bad trader. You're not Warren Buffett. You are patient. That's all you need to remember. Now then, Zeus. We've not mentioned them for a while. Zeus is connecting Solana to Bitcoin. The tech and code are being built as we plan to move forward to the most important chapters from Muses to Gaia soon. Many of our products will be rolling out in the next few weeks, and Bitcoin is coming to Solana sooner than everybody anticipates. It is happening. It is happening, and it is happening soon. This Zeus coin, many of you will have been given some of it if you staked your dupe. I am going to hold on to mine. The likelihood is when this dumps, when this pumps, I'm going to sell it. I'm not holding this coin. I like the project. I love what it's going to do. There's going to be bugs. I'm going to wait for mass FOMO yet again, and I'm going to sell out of Zeus, hopefully somewhere near the top, and then I'm going to sit on the sides and wait for the price to come down. That's what I'm going to do with Zeus. I'm not selling out of the project forever. I'm selling out because people are going to FOMO into this. December this year and September next year will be the highest points in crypto. You could be right. There is normally I wouldn't call it a double peak, because that's not. 2021 was different because of the pandemic. I think towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, and I would say February rather than December, because of the election, which is in November. So November or December, we could see a high, 85,000 maybe. Then January or February, when Trump comes in and he steps out onto that platform and talks about Bitcoin, then we could have another mass rally. Then we could have the summer lull that we're going to have. We're going to have this year. We had it last year. And then towards October, December, November next year, I think we have a rip-off. I'm not expecting much return, but I'm not going to sell. If you bought at $24,000, you are very likely not guaranteed to see somewhere between an 8 and a 10x, in my opinion, Mags. So Zeus is happening very soon. Keep an eye out on that. If you've never heard of it, it's a project built on Solana that is going to connect Solana to Bitcoin. That's all you need to know. And the token is available widely on exchanges. I hope Zeus has its own story. I hope indeed. Now then, they always say that cream rises to the top. Bonk has flipped with. Why? Bonk has BonkBot, which is a Telegram trading bot. It has its own DAO. It has what I personally use, which is Bonk Rewards. Punk isn't going to go anywhere. It's got its own games. It's got its swap. It's got staking. It's got everything. What does WIF have? It has a hat. I have been saying this for a long time. These meme coins have to evolve into how do I say this now without slating all of these other meme coins? They have to build utility on top of the fame around their meme. Bonk did that. Bonk is now available on Revolut, which is a TradFi app bank solution. What's Swift done? It has a hat. It needs to take the next step. Look at Pepe, Bonk, Shiba Inu, Floki. What have they all done? They've built an ecosystem. WIF hasn't done that yet. There is no reason for WIF to be anywhere near the market cap of Bonk, but we are talking about memes. So bear in mind, not all memes are created equally. Keep that in mind and choose wisely. There are some good memes that people talk about now. Brett needed to retrace. If that retraces, that will be a good coin to hold. Ponke, which I know a few of you got in chat, that's doing reasonably well. There are going to be bigger performing meme coins than others in this bull run. Now then, this is the US dollar index, which I've been covering every other day. Now, there's a reason I have been covering it every other day, and that is that we are at a very, very important point. And that is, in fact, I think I started looking at this towards the 25th or 21st of June, around then. So this is the strength of the dollar against every other currency. I'm not going to go over what it is. You can go and look at it yourself. But we have this line here. And look, we pretty much came up to it, 105.88. And what happened? We got rejected. We came all the way back down to its support band. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It looks like it's going to bounce up. I've locked away all of my Bonk as well, Mags. I've got it locked into Bonk rewards. And I don't know what I'm making. I think I'm making about 3 or 4% a month on my Bonk rewards. So I don't know. Why is this important? Okay, when the dollar index goes up, the stock market and crypto goes down. Okay, it's not direct and it's not absolute. Okay, because as we know, S&P's all-time highs. It's a rule of thumb. It's not specific science. Now, the issue is, if we see this like that, then Bitcoin is going to do this. Okay, that's going to be Bitcoin, and that's going to be the DXY. Okay, so what we want to see is a breakdown. We want to see this, and that's why we're keeping an eye on it, because this is going to front run Bitcoin's pump. If we start to see this, okay, and Thursday and Friday are very important. If we start to see this line break, it broke here for a little while, it broke here for a little while, we want it to break here. We want it to break down a little bit. Remember, back in March, it was 102. Bitcoin was flying, remember. Since then, it's run up, and guess what? Bitcoin's gone in the opposite direction. As the DXY has gone up, Bitcoin has kind of been doing that. So we want this to break down. That is what we want it to do. I'll leave that there. So we're going to keep an eye on the Dixie. It's super important. Now, the next things we're going to look at, because we're going to look at some charts at the beginning today. We're not going to the news, because I think it's good every once in a while not to follow the same pattern and just to give you guys something different. Now, this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. I'm gonna have to go and buy a new mouse. If anybody wants to donate about $1,000, I need a new mouse and a new laptop. Right. So what happened here? Ever since, let's go to the weekly. There we go. We made it. Okay. This is the weekly chart. This is how many Ethereum you can get. Sorry, how much Bitcoin you can get for your Ethereum. We've been in this downward trend now for pretty much 2 years. Then you can see we did a little bit of a breakout and got above the bull market support band. You know why? Because of the ETF. I was saying all along we were going to come down to 0.404. We didn't because the ETF has front run me. I have been defeated. So what's going to happen? I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin over the rest of the year. And I think Bitcoin is going to rise, but I think Ethereum is going to rise. If I'm saying now that I think Ethereum could go to $5,000, that's a 66% pump. I don't think Bitcoin is going to do a 66% pump. I think it might do a 50% pump, but I think Ethereum is going to outperform it. Now, if that's the case, what we're going to see is we're going to see this start to reverse all of this downward action over the last 2 years. I don't know where it's going to top out. I don't know. I didn't do the calculations, but I expect this to move up. Now, why am I showing you this? Because had you held Bitcoin for 2 years until today, for 2 solid years, you held nothing but Bitcoin, your Bitcoin was worth 11 Ethereum at this point. Had it got to the point I was suggesting, you'd have got 25 Ethereum. So it was going to outperform Ethereum by whatever that works out as, 150%. Now I'm telling you that holding Ethereum over Bitcoin is going to get you a bigger return because of the ETF that's about to happen. So Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin, I think, potentially for the rest of the bull run. Because remember, we have to find a bottom somewhere. And we maybe have now, and it's maybe been forced on us by this ETF. So the next one, and the only other one I'm going to look at, is Solana. You know what? The problem is, Mags, I had a really good Razer mouse and it broke. And now I've got a replacement one. And it's one of these gaming mice that the Oracle uses. And I just can't use it. It's the size of my hand. I'm 6'3". I can hold a football in one hand and it's the size of my hand. It's like having a small yacht to steer around with. Where are we? Will most alts go down heaps after the end of the bull run? Yes, Peter. Most of them will go down 95%. So, for example, if you look at ADA. ADA was $3. It came down to 25 cents. If you look at, Solana wasn't really fair on Solana, but Solana went from $250 to $12, but that was more to do with FTX. Most alts lose 90% of their money. If you want to stay in crypto after the bull run, you put everything into Bitcoin and then you hold Bitcoin. But even Bitcoin will retrace 40-50%. So ideally, at the end of the bull run, it would be wrong of me to say, don't sell everything, because that's probably what I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to sell everything to dollars. Even though dollars is debasing, it might only debase only 10% over the period of time I'll be in dollars. Bitcoin could come down 50%. Ethereum could come down 50%. But your micro caps, your meme coins and things like that, they could come down 99%. And this is important, some of those coins will never recover. If you look at all previous bull runs at all-time highs for certain coins, some of them never come back. They die. And that's why it's always good to follow the narrative of the bull run. And it's guessing, last bull run, what did we have? We had gaming and we had metaverses. Did either of those two things do anything in the last 4 years? No, not a goddamn jot. But we still held them because you made massive returns. Now, this time around, we have the suits, don't we? And we're talking about AI, and we're talking about real-world assets, and we're talking about decentralized physical infrastructure. Guess what? They sound like grown-up toys. They sound like the things that grown-ups would have. Okay? So we've gone from talking about Pew Pew and pretending to be a dinosaur 4 years ago to now talking about tokenizing real-world assets, AI bots, AI nodes. We've gone to talk about distributed rendering facilities and AI facilities. Doesn't it sound so much more grown up than the previous bull run? So the other argument is that I've said before is this could be the last great bull run. And what I mean by that is, this time could be different because I expect the crypto market to fragment. I think real world assets have no reason to fall in line with the bear market. For example, if you have a real world asset token and it is generating $100 million a year in revenue from providing access to a tokenized office block portfolio, why does it matter if Bitcoin retraces 50% when this asset over here is generating non-crypto related revenue and it just happens to be using the blockchain to tokenize the returns? It shouldn't. And if it does, then you can take advantage of it. So this could be the last chance. This could be the last great bull run. You know, we've had these kind of runs with Amazon, with Facebook, with Meta. They've happened. They've been and gone. You hear the stories. Oh, if you'd have bought Facebook 15 years ago, you'd have made 100,000x return. You did make 100,000x return if you were at the beginning. And that may be where we're going next. Maybe Bitcoin gets to $4 trillion and maybe it only comes down to $3 trillion. Maybe we don't see what I've been talking about. Maybe I'm just talking through my backside this time around. I'll have a look at gold and Bitcoin when I can. I am not a technical genius with regards to stuff like this, Peter. So what I will do gold and Bitcoin tomorrow on the chart. It is there. There is a chart for it, and I have looked at it before. But the problem is, actually, you know what? Do you just type this in? I'm not very good at stuff like this. You got to remember. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, and there is a way of doing it. I'm just not very good at it. And I'll find it for you. I'll figure it out. I'll get the code and I'll put it in. So then, as we just said, was holding Ethereum over the last 2 years the best thing to do? No. Now then, we have a different kettle of fish, and that is Solana. Solana, at its peak, you would get 250 Solana for 1 Bitcoin. We had this massive move down. At the worst, you got 1,900 Solana for 1 Bitcoin. And guess what? We have come back up to 422 Solana for 1 Bitcoin. What do I see happening? Again, I've already drawn it out for you because that's just how incredibly professional I am on this channel. This is what I think is going to happen over the next year and a half. We're going to run up, maybe not as high. We're going to run up with Solana. And now, you know what? I don't think we're going to see this kind of move down because of the ETF. So let's just curtail that a little bit. I think it will probably do something like this. So the two assets I can pretty much guarantee that are going to outperform Bitcoin over the next year and a half are Solana and Ethereum. Both have ETF narratives. One is happening now, and one is going to happen between now and the beginning of next year. March next year, I think, is the deadline some people have been saying. At some point, we're going to get the Solana ETF. VanEck is already applying. BlackRock will apply. That's going to pump the price. So expect Solana and Ethereum to both outperform Bitcoin in the next year. And there's no reason why they can't outperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been on a tremendous run, but Solana and Ethereum have smaller market caps. It's easier for them to 3x. Remember, for Bitcoin to 3x, you've got to add, what, 3 trillion to its market cap. To 3x Ethereum, you only have to add 800 billion. To 3x Solana, you only have to add 160 billion. So they're not the same. Yeah, indeed, smash like. Bitcoin retraces 60% from where after reaching 100 million. Right, okay. So, Mags, this is a rule of thumb that I have been using. Bitcoin retraces to its previous all-time high. There or thereabouts. So, previous all-time high was 18,000, whatever it was, where did we retrace at the pits of the previous bear market? 16,000, wasn't it? Something like that. Where did we retrace from 18,000? We retraced it. We retraced to 3,000. That was its previous all-time high. So if our previous all-time high is 70,000, 69,400, whatever it is, 70,000, we could retrace to 70,000. But I've said this before, the ETFs have broken the price of Bitcoin. We didn't have the Ethereum ETF, sorry, the Bitcoin ETF until this year, and it's hyperinflated the price. Ben Cowan thinks we should be at $45,000. That would be a good price for us to be at. We're not at $45,000, we're at $57,000. So we are what? We're 33% higher than we should be. So if you say, for argument's sake, that we are going to retrace to our previous all-time high plus a bit, 33% on top of 70,000 brings us to 95,000. So there's a scenario where we go to $180,000 for Bitcoin. Then we retrace 60%, 70%, whatever it might be, and we come back to about $95,000. And the world will be ending because we're under $100,000. So that's how I go off that's how I kind of plot where we're going to go. So the bottom of the bear market, the next bear market should be 70,000. But with the ETFs, maybe it won't come down that far anymore. Maybe we'll come down to 95, 100,000 in the next bear market. And then in the bull run after that, we should be seeing $400,000 or $500,000 Bitcoin in there. And some people are saying $1 million, but $400,000 or $500,000. So Germany sells 17,000 Bitcoin worth 951 million, its largest single day Bitcoin liquidation. Now, this is a one-off event. Germany does not have an infinite supply of Bitcoin. It doesn't. So it can only sell for so long. That's what we've got to understand. One-off events do not change the macro climate unless it's a major black swan. The odd country selling 50,000 Bitcoin is overly stressed and highlighted, in my opinion. Now, Bitcoin plunges to $56,000. Now, has it really plunged? I don't think we've really plunged based on the Germany news. We've come down $3,000 or $4,000. It's not really plunged though. And it's being bought up. On a good day, ETFs can buy 10,000 Bitcoin in a day. That's it. So the government has transferred an additional 8,000 to exchanges and market makers. Joan, oh yeah, we've read that bit. Basically, one of the MPs was saying, "What are you doing selling the Bitcoin? Keep hold of it. Keep it as a national asset." Concerns about the stability of the crypto market rose sharply. No, it didn't. According to blockchain analyst Arkham, German authorities have moved an additional 8,000 to exchanges and market makers since their previous update earlier today. And remember, they are running out of Bitcoin to sell. We're not going to mention names of where we are, where they're being sold, because we are on exchanges right now. At the time of the reporting, Bitcoin was at 56,000. I think what are we at now? 50. What is the price of Bitcoin? Were we at 56.8? 57.5? How are we looking for Bitcoin? Is that going to move? 57.6. Okay, so we've moved up. So again, this is positive. All of this stuff is being sold off. When it's not being sold off, the price is recovering. It's a positive sign. The German government's decision to liquidate its Bitcoin holdings through exchanges and market makers rather than through public auctions, as seen in some past cases of crypto sales, marks a shift in approach. Again, we've already talked about this. Justin Sun offered to buy it all off them and they refused. And this basically talks about the fact that she said that they should be keeping it. If Bitcoin keeps on this trajectory, the amount of Bitcoin they have got will probably 10x in value in the next 10 years. And it's short-sightedness from Germany. We're not going to spend too long on that, simply because we've spent forever talking about charts. We have a look at the Bitcoin chart. Give you some prices again. Mikey, $45,000 Bitcoin incoming. I've got 44,000 on my chart, Mikey. Fundamentals of coins move the price more than the charts. Bitcoin moves the price of coins more than anything. If Bitcoin dumps, you can have the best coin in the world. It will trash. Bitcoin goes down 5%, everything else will fall down. So my lowest, actually, you know what? I take it back, Mikey. I have got 44,880 as my line. However, we're doing a good job of holding the line. We are doing a good job of holding the line. My low line here, which I think is going to be fought at tooth and nail, is the bottom of the McDonald's application form. We have carried out almost a perfect McDonald's, and unlike McDonald's, I am not loving it. That's where we are. I think 52 holds. If not, 50,200 holds. And if it doesn't, and if something happens, then yes, Mikey is probably going to be spot on. We're going to come to 45,000. At which point, I will blame Mikey for all of the world's woes. So yeah, I think 45,000 is the very bottom. But the longer we hold this line, the better. Germany can't continue to sell. Mt. Gox is already pumping out its distributions. That doesn't seem to be moving the price too much. The Ethereum ETF coming on board in the next couple of weeks is positive news. Again, we could see it. The other thing to bear in mind is, if we do see it, it might be a wick. That's something to bear in mind. If somebody dumped 20,000 Bitcoin onto the market, we could see within an hour or two this. We could wick. But I don't think we're going to spend... what was this period of time? This was December to February. This was 2 months. I don't think we're going to spend 2 months at that price level. I think if we do come down, we will come down for maybe this period of time, which was about 2 weeks. So if we do, I think we do that and then come back up to get to 50,000, try and break 50,000, and then start to move up. There is also a Wyckoff distribution pattern in play. I don't have time to go through that. And the Wyckoff distribution is expecting us to do this kind of pattern to finish off the latter part of the Wyckoff distribution. But again, I don't have time to go through all of that because we've got 20 minutes to go and we haven't even got to Deepin. So yeah, now what we're going to do with Deepin, we're not looking at a chart. I'm going to show you the breakdown of Deepin on CoinMarketCap, so you can go and have a look over there and see if you fancy anything. So Deepin, for those that don't know, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Oh, no, it says it there. Will generate numerous multi-billion-dollar ventures in the near future. Okay, let me explain why this is not hot air. Data centers, distributed data centers, have been around for 30 years. My first real job, big boy job, out of university was working for an insurance broker that had HSBC, Norwich Union, 8 of the top 10 insurance companies in the world use their software. And I went to look around the data centers, and data centers provide economies of scale. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks are nothing new. They have been around forever. But what we are doing now is we are using them for AI and other types of services. You know, Fetch has got a decentralized network of nodes. iOS has its own, is it Ion, sorry, has its own decentralized structure. Render. So it's just using existing tech. That's why I think they're going to do well, because they already exist, they're tried and tested, and the structure is already there. So Demiras, we're going to call them that from now on, highlighted the potential of DePINs, which use blockchain to decentralize control over physical infrastructure like wireless networks and data storage. Bitcoin's success in creating a massive network and incentivized substantial investments in mining hardware could serve as a model. We don't need that. So we've got Filecoin, which is decentralized storage. Graph is a little bit like a Oracle. Render is, of course, rendering of images. Akash, we haven't really ever covered on this channel. And again, economies of scale. That's the key. Keep that in mind. Economies of scale. When I reviewed, was it Ion or iOS? I can't remember the name of it now. Ion. Why did they become what they became, which was a decentralized system? Because they were trying to solve a problem for a market that didn't have a solution. So they became the solution to the problem. Now, yes, they've got issues with their CEO and all that kind of stuff, but the structural product remains the same. It rewards people for becoming part of a bigger chain, a bigger network of solving problems and providing the hardware. She believes that while resource networks might become standardized, the tools for enhancing operational and financial efficiency will hold greater long-term value. Exactly. You know, decentralized mining has helped push forward this idea of not reinventing the wheel every time you want to do something. You want processing power, use DePIN. You want rendering power, use DePIN. You want storage, you use DePIN. It's simple. So, CoinMarketCap has a very handy tool. You type in the top right-hand corner, you type in what you're searching for, you click on categories, you click on DePIN. This gives you all of the tokens associated with DePIN projects. McDonald's happy. I'll be McDonald's happy when we bounce out of the McDonald's phase that we're currently in. That's what I'm doing. Right, so these are the top DePIN networks. Now, I know some of you out there don't like ICP. I know some of you out there, I personally don't like Bitenza, for example. But these are all the projects associated with physical networks that do things, that are distributed around the world. So Render, we know about. We know about their deal with Apple. Filecoin is one of the OGs. They're just a storage provider. But guess what? As the blockchain gets bigger, it needs more and more storage. So projects like Filecoin and competitors are going to pop up. You can scroll down here. Akash is down here. You've got some others. Helium is a decentralized mobile phone network. Interesting story. They switched from their own blockchain to Solana. That will probably be something that they will live to be very happy with. LivePeer, again, peer-to-peer networks. Where was that one I found? IO.net, there we go. So they are another decentralized network. I did a review on that project. I think 228 is good. I think my price target for that token was about $10. I think the first price was $5 and then $10 maybe in the bull run, did I say? I can't remember, something like that. So many coins to keep on top of. Anyway, go and have a look at CoinMarketCap. You can do this for anything. You can type in AI. You go to categories and you can go to AI and big data, and it gives you the breakdown of the tokens. Again, Render is there again, ASI, Near Protocol, the Graph, the usual suspects are there. So make sure to go and check that out. I'm not going to spend too long on any of these things because they're trash. Now then, everybody talks about projects that are going to do well in the bull run. It's rare that you're going to get told what not to buy in the bull run. Phantom, for me, is dead, and it's been dead for 2 years, maybe 3 years. It's finished. I'm going to go through this in a minute and explain why. So Phantom, when it came out, was really cool. It had a theme, and its theme was like ghosts, graveyards, spooky type things. It was really quite cool and kitsch. And I had big, I had big plans for it. But the problem is, that film, If You Build It, They Will Come. Well, they built it and nobody ever came. And that's the issue. So when you look at projects, and I'm going to use Mantra as a good example. Mantra is 90% speculation, 10% value. That doesn't make it a bad project. What I mean is, let's compare it to Chainlink. Chainlink has transacted $13 trillion worth of transactions through its system. That is 80% value, 20% speculation, because we don't know where it's going to go. A new project comes out, and we've looked at Sei, we've looked at Sui, we looked at Celestia, we've looked at all these projects. They're great. And I say they're great, but people have to use them. Building a gaming blockchain is great if there's games on it and those games are played. Phantom was built. It was super cool. Everybody loved it. Price went through the roof. Nobody goes near it. Nobody touches it. It's not, and I'm going to get to, it's not all lost for them at the end, but we're going to get there in a minute. So the monthly revenue has gone down 30%, even though there's more active addresses. The decline in the revenue is due to the decrease in the value of its governance coin FTM, which has gone down 40% in the last 30 days. So Phantom has gone up. Active users of 600,000. Number of unique addresses has risen by 77%. We don't need to talk too much about that. So the low gas prices, yeah, right, okay, get to the end of it. Is this the end of the article? Don't tell me it's the end of the article. There we go. So Phantom's monthly revenue began to decline after closing a year of 89. So this is how much it's making per month. This is a blockchain that is making less than $25,000 a month in revenue. That is, at best, 5 programmers. If you don't have programmers, you don't build. If you don't build things of worth that add value, nobody's going to use your chain. So, it's finished. In my opinion, it is finished. And although the graph looks like everything else, as I said before, not everything that hits all-time highs in the last bull run and the bull run before will hit all-time highs this time. And not everything that hits all-time highs in 2025 is going to go anywhere near those all-time highs in 2029. There are projects that come and go. The same way there are shops in your high street that come and go. Pop-up shops, they're there for 2 or 3 years. It doesn't work, they move on. There is not a 100% success rate in everything in life apart from death. That is the only 100% certainty you have. This blockchain is finished. It has no revenue. There is nothing about this chain that makes me want to invest. If you hold Phantom, wait for a pump, wait for a bit of good news and sell out. Now then, as I was saying, all is not lost. If a new investor comes to Phantom, because it's built, remember, this is like a warehouse, it's been built, it's got all the furniture, it's got all the equipment in there, just nobody using it. If it's adopted by something or someone, then yes, it can go on and do incredibly well. But at this moment in time, wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. Now we're going to go and have a look at Llama Time. Did I call it Llama Time? I did call it Llama Time. I am so predictable. Can you see the NRTR chart? The last time I asked, you didn't have the time to review it. I'll have a quick look. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go and have a little look at it. Right then. So we're going to go through a couple of these charts. Not really in any great depth. I just want to show you the charts. You can go and do this, by the way. It's called DeFi Llama. It has a very simple menu on the left. TVL, you hear the word TVL, total value locked by all chains. Now, what's important is to realize that Ethereum is still the 100-ton gorilla in the room. TVL of Ethereum, 53 billion. It's more than everything else combined. It's It's more than Tron. It's more than the BSC. It's more than Solana. It's more than Arbitrum Base. It's more than everything put together. It's also got the most protocols. It doesn't have the most addresses, admittedly, but it's still number one. Now, total value locked is a good indicator of which chains have the most value on them. And then you can say, over time, are these chains appreciating or depreciating? So Blast, for example, 45% down in the last month, likely to fall out of the top 10. Solana, down 4%. Avalanche, only 10. Polygon, only 11. Okay? These are projects that are holding value. Arbitrum is only down 9.9%. Even though the market is in a corrective period, they're still not massively down. But then you look at Solana, 4.4 billion, the same as the BSC, the smart chain. However, everybody talks about Solana, nobody talks about the smart chain. Look at Tron. Now, listen, I am not one to say anything about coins or blockchains, but Tron has always been sus in my eyes. I don't know who uses it. I don't know why it gets used so much, but let's just leave it at that. That comes in second place. So if you're looking at layer 2s and serious layer 1s, your TVL is where you should start. That's where all the value is. Now, we've just seen how much money Phantom is making per month. $25,000 per month it's making. This, if it decides to load for me, let's close that down. This is how much money is being made by Chain. Why is this not working? Oh, you're having a laugh. I tell you what, there is something wrong with the internet today, because I've had this bad gateway on a couple of different sites already this morning. So I don't know what is going on, but some of them are down. Let's try. I don't think DeFi Llama is going to work by the looks of it, which is fine. What have we got? We've got 6 minutes. I'll tell you what we'll do. Before we move on to Messi, let's go and have a look at the chart for Mags. Let's go and see what we can find for you. This is why I like live. Videos aren't as much fun. They don't get the juices flowing as much. Now, have we looked at this in the past? I'm sure we've looked at this in the past. Ah, well, we'll go through it. Right then. So what we would do is we would drag this. Let's go all the way back down there and drag this all the way across. Let's bring that down to there. Right, okay. It's the same as every other chart. When Bitcoin came down, it broke through its bull market support band. This is the kill zone. This is the zone where if you like this coin, this is where you should buy this coin. It's all-time high, which was, by the looks of things on this exchange anyway, nearly $2. We're down at 40 cents. It's retraced some hell of a way in 2 or 3 months. It's really come down. It looks like a bike. Let's have a look. Right, so again, when Bitcoin decides to move back up, look for these volume areas for where it's going to go back to, and also see if it ties in with the fibs. So this area here, let's give you some things. The first one, of course, is 64 cents. Why? Because that acted like fairly decent support until it broke. So 64 cents for me would be the next move up. Now listen, again, I'm not going to guarantee it goes back over $2. What I'm saying is, if you bought today at 40 cents and you held it until it goes back to 64 cents, you're going to make 55-60% profit on that coin. So you put $100 into this, in the next month or so, you're likely to turn that into $155. Not a bad return, in my opinion. Now, what we need to do for every other coin, and this isn't, when you're in these corrections, I could bring up one of 20 charts. They're all going to look the same. And they're all going to look the same. Broke through the support band, couldn't get back above it, came down. But you know what happens when you come down? Look how low the RSI is. It's in the pits, okay? Look at where the price is. It's nearly at all-time lows, 30 cents. It's had a bit of a recovery. So for me, if you hold this coin and you've bought this coin in the last, let's see, I'd say if you bought this coin at anything under $1, you're likely to see your money back in the next couple of months, certainly before the end of the year. Because if we break this level here, so if we do this, we need to test it. We're probably going to get stuck. The bull market support band's going to arc down. So then we test it. Then where we're going to go? Well, guess what? Again, we've got another level up here. This is coming in at about 87 cents. Not expecting that to happen in the next 7 or 8 weeks, 2 months. But certainly, I'd be looking at 63 cents and 87 cents. And remember, you can draw a fib on anything, and you can then just pick the line and say, all right, well, you're just picking the lines. I am just picking the lines because that's where the price action's been. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize we've covered what a Fibonacci is. We've talked about Fibonacci, a natural occurring pattern in the universe. We are part of the universe, therefore we create our own patterns, and those patterns exist in the stock market, in crypto. So I didn't draw this chart until today, yet somehow we have all of these levels which we retraced to, we bounced off all of these good things. So for me, 64, then 88. But again, I don't know enough about the project to say what its long-term goals are. Now then, this is another warning. I do like to give warnings. Right, okay, so it's the Cosmos. Cosmos is going to be a big chain. There's so many things building on the Cosmos ecosystem. It's absolutely vast. The only negative I've heard about the Cosmos chain is that it's got too many blockchains on it. And because it's got too many blockchains on it, they're all diluting themselves. That's the only negative, but it's a bit of a beast. Now then, this is another warning. Don't buy a token based on a celebrity pumping that coin. Lionel Messi posted a Solana token to his Instagram story, and it went up to $100 million market cap in 1 minute. It did that. Okay, now I have the website, and I'm going to show you the website because they all look the same, do they not? It's as if the same people were making them and just changing the colours and the logo. Well, guess what? That's how it works. Now then, that is water, which is funny because I remember very distinctly covering a project called Milk Bag. Water, Milk Bag. They're the same people. Now, just because it says it's a charity token, it doesn't mean it is. Okay? By the creators of Beer. Beer also had a rug pull moment as well. So I wouldn't buy any token based on Lionel Messi telling you that it's a great coin to buy. I wouldn't tell you to buy Watercoin based on any climate crisis issue that you may think that there is, or you know that there is. Anything like this immediately makes me walk away. And the reason it makes me walk away is these celebrities have no idea what they're doing when they're promoting these coins. Iggy Azalea and Andrew Tate are a bit different. They know about crypto. Lionel Messi is sponsored by a couple of crypto projects and exchanges and stuff like that. He doesn't really know what he's doing. he tweets this out. I mean, has he been paid to do that? Have they said that they're going to donate to his charity of choice? Please don't go and buy something. The only way you're going to make money is if you bought at the bottom of that dip. Now, should we see what it's come down to or what it's gone up to? Because I actually don't know. Again, one of these lesser known websites that you might want to go and check out is called Bird Eye. And Bird Eye it's what kind of some of the Solana OGs use. So this is the water token. Do we have a chart? There we go. So what did the token do? The token absolutely tanked. Can we draw on this? We certainly can. The token tanked. Messi got it to spike up here, and it has done this, and it's back at the same price it was before the dip. Now, it's at $66 million market cap. Had you bought the top, you'd be down 50% already. If you bought just before Lionel Messi announced it, you would be down 15%. So before Messi, after Messi, it's just trash. Now this might go on to do $200 or $300 million market cap, but because it's associated with Lionel Messi and these kind of pumps and these kind of news clips, I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I don't care what it goes to. I'm not going to touch this one. The same as why I won't touch any of these other celebrities, rappers. Drake's a scammer. He's tried to scam people. His team bought all the tokens, then dumped on you. Who else has done it recently? Hulk Hogan, again, claimed he didn't know anything about it. Probably pocketed a few $1 million from that. Again, they're all scammers. Don't touch anything associated with a celebrity. And most importantly, do not listen to anything anybody says on the internet. And that includes me. Don't listen to anybody, okay? We give you our opinions. I give you what I hope to be an impartial opinion. I do have very fixed beliefs in certain projects. Gavin Wood, I will never talk about his project. And you know why if you're in the Telegram group. There are other projects that I have seen over time that I have built my own opinion on. Phantom being one of them. Don't buy that token. It's trash. It makes no money. It's going to go bankrupt. Okay? The bear market in 2026 could be multiple blockchains going out of business. That could be the bear market of 2026. That could be it. Projects running out of runway, projects running out of money. That's going to be potentially the next bear market. And that will cause contagion. And then people will start to look at those things I was showing you. In fact, can I not bring that up? Is it fixed yet? Let's have a look. Is it still down or are we working? I think it might still be down. Come on. Are we up? Are we down? DeFi Llama broke or not? I don't even look at these coins. I wouldn't even look at those coins either. Absolutely not. Anyway, what time is it? Right, it's 12:05. DeFi Llama certainly isn't working. Very quickly then, let's have a look at the Bitcoin chat before we go. My little rant then about coins I don't even look at seems to have made everybody fall asleep, so we'll call it a day there. Right then, Bitcoin coming in at 57.6. I think we can get excited above 58.5. Ideally, let's see what happens with the Germans today. Let's see what they dump. Let's see if we can get above 58,000. Remember, we've got a long in from 54.4. I think Brogan has been talking about that in the trading channel. And if not, ask him. He's had some good wins over the last few days. I think he's won the last 7 trades. So what we need to do now is put those trades into Telegram so you can all see them. And then I will start to hopefully put them onto the exchanges as well, so then everybody else can follow them. But anyway, I'm going to get going. Thank you, everybody. I will see you all in the morning. Take care. I'm off to make a few videos. Have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow.